Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Mari. I'm one of the librarians at Portland Public Library in Portland, Maine, and I'm here today with another picture book biography for Black History Month. The picture book biography that we're going to be reading today is of Raye Montague, The Girl with the Mind for Math. This book is by Julia Finley Mosca and illustrated by Daniel Rieley. This book is also published by let's see if I can find it. The Innovation Press, which is a new publisher for me. If there's something that you want, but it seems like it's out of reach, here's a story for you, a great truth it will teach. When you focus your mind, you'll succeed through and through, like one bold engineer by the name Montague. In a state we call Arkansas, one wintry day, a baby was welcome, a girl they called Raye. She was bright as a star, super smart from the start. She was headstrong, this child, and not faint of heart. Yes, this girl had potential, her granddad was proud. He told her, work hard, you'll stand out from the crowd. Then something she cherished when Raye was just 7, he took her to see her first ship. It was heaven. A real submarine, her eyes opened wide. Who made it, she asked as they followed the guide. Engineer, said the man, giving Raye's head a pat. But my dear, you don't need to know all about that. At the time, the man's insult went over her head. No, you can't, were the words he'd meant but not said. Engineers, thought Raye, and her life's dream began. Except most people laughed when she told them her plan. Stay strong, said her mom. Use your brains. You'll be fine. There will always be people who pay you no mind. Just because you're a girl and just because you're black, don't let them or the state of your school hold you back. You see, schools in those days were what's called segregated. Black and white students were kept separated. That's wrong, you exclaimed. It was dismal, no fooling. And worst of it all, white kids received better schooling. But Raye studied hard. She had grit, taught herself. She was gifted in math and read books on the shelf. When the time came for college, she knew what to choose. She'd learned about boats, but she got some bad news. Engineering's not taught at black schools, they said. Her heart hit the floor. I'll take business instead. She'd learn what she could, and she'd learn the rest later. The rules were unjust, but that school wouldn't break her. Raye finished with honors. Oh boy, what a smarty. She said her farewells. There was no time to party. I'm off to a place filled with histories great, the capital city of all 50 states. Now, finding a job, it turned out that took time. She looked and she looked. Raye was not one to whine. Then it must have been fate, or at least that's what it seems. She was hired to type where they built submarines. The Navy, that's right. Okay, but hold your cheers. Ship designing was only for trained engineers. So she watched as they worked and she learned every task, even studied computers by night in a class. And her big break arrived. The whole staff got the flu. Raye did all of her work, and the engineers too. Her boss was in shock. How? He exploded. From memory, said Raye, and with that got promoted. Life should have been swell, yet that wasn't the case. Her boss treated her poorly because of her race. Many people, like him, tried to make her feel small. Raye just held her head high, and she outworked them all. What next? From the White House, there was a command. The president ordered a ship. Make it grand. And quickly, he added. Well, that didn't fly. All those plans would take engineers months to supply. Here's the thing about that. When designing a boat, there are thousands of measurements that one needs to know. All those numbers take math, and that takes some time. But Raye had been working on something sublime. She took a deep breath. I can solve this, she said. I've come up with a system to do it instead. I'll draw the plans faster, she told them. Don't fret. I'll design the first ship by computer. No sweat. How long do you think it might take? What's your guess? Would it take her a month? a month, maybe weeks for success? Well, it took calculations and tons of caffeine, but Raye finished in hours, just over 18. That's less than a day. Her program, it worked. All the blueprints were done. The ship was constructed. The engineers, stunned. You did it, they cheered. And her boss had to say that her quick mind for math had, in fact, saved the day. The end? No, not quite. When Raye's ship was unveiled, only white men could go, and Raye's invite, not mailed. Say what? You heard that right. No invite? Oh, abhorrible. In fact, some might say it was downright deplorable. Yet Raye kept her cool, gave her best every day, and in time her skills were applauded. Hooray. People learned of her work. Who's this Raye? They demanded. When they met her, they stared. They expected a man. Yes, that happened a lot. Many could not believe that a woman of color did all she achieved. Some even thought that Raye was a maid. Sad but true. When they ordered a drink, she'd say, "Bring me one too." All of her humor and wit served her well through the years, as she battled the hard times with laughs, not tears. And that boss in the Navy who'd been so unkind made Raye the first woman to lead ship design. More honors would follow, her fame picked up steam, and finally, at last, she accomplished her dream. That title she'd worked for, an engineer, score. Now the world knows her feats, and she's hidden no more. That's Raye Montague, engineer. So the lesson to all is don't ever give in. Take a chance, rock the boat. If it sinks, you can swim. When a storm comes your way, hold your course and don't stress. Never quit. And like Raye, propel straight to success. Here's a little note from Raye in the back. It says, "Dear reader, if you have a dream like I did, study hard and stay focused. Always remember that just because someone says you can't doesn't have to stop you. You might have to go in a different direction and it might take you a little longer, but you can achieve your dreams." Raye Montague. See that picture of her? With all of her awards. These are some different facts and that came from the author chatting with Raye Montague. And here's a timeline of her life from when she was born all the way up to the present day, which is that picture that we saw. And a little bit more about her. This is her when she was a little younger. Here's another picture of her. And then the bibliography where the person got all of this information. And some submarines on the back. That was the story of Raye Montague. So just like Raye said, if you have a dream, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. You might take hard work and some help from others and finding the people that will support you. And even like Raye said, it might take some time and patience and humor, but you can get there if you work for it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope to see you again soon for more of our picture book biographies celebrating Black History Month. Once again, my name is Sarah Mari. I'm one of the librarians at Portland Public Library in Portland, Maine. Thank you for listening. Bye.